Okay, real talk. Disney Plus isn't just for kids anymore, because hidden between all the animated classics and Marvel overload, there are actually some insanely good movies made for adults. Movies with dark themes, emotional storytelling, brutal action, mind-bending sci-fi, and performances that hit way harder than people expect from Disney. And the crazy part? A lot of these films completely flew under the radar. So today, we're counting down 10 Disney Plus movies adults actually love. Not guilty pleasures, not so bad it's good. These are genuinely great movies that prove Disney Plus has way more range than people give it credit for, and trust me, some of these are way darker than you'd expect. Let's get into it. Number 10, Prey 2022.
I can kill it.
Starting off strong with one of the biggest surprise hits Disney Plus has ever dropped. Prey basically revived the entire Predator franchise after years of disappointment, and somehow the solution was simple. Go backwards. Instead of futuristic soldiers and explosions every 5 minutes, this movie takes place in the 1700s and follows a young Comanche warrior trying to survive against a predator hunting on her land. And honestly, that setting change alone makes this feel fresh immediately. The movie strips everything down to survival, tension, and raw hunting instincts. No unnecessary comedy, no messy lore dumps, just human versus monster. Amber Midthunder absolutely carries the film too. Her performance feels grounded and believable, and you actually buy her transformation from underestimated hunter into full-on warrior. But what really made adults fall in love with Prey is how smart it is. The predator isn't dumbed down, the humans aren't invincible. Every fight feels dangerous, brutal, and earned. And visually, this movie looks gorgeous. The forest, the fog, the natural lighting, it feels cinematic in a way streaming movies usually don't. A lot of fans even called it the best Predator movie since the original, which is honestly not that crazy of a take. Number 9, The Menu 2022.
Happy birthday to you.
You told him it was my birthday?
Seemed funny about 3 hours ago.
This movie is proof that adults love watching rich people suffer. The menu starts simple. A young couple visits an ultra-exclusive restaurant run by a celebrity chef played by Ralph Fiennes. But the longer dinner goes on, the more disturbing things become. And eventually, the movie turns into this insane mix of psychological horror, dark comedy, and social satire. What makes the menu so good is that it constantly makes you uncomfortable in the best way possible. The dialogue feels sharp, the tension keeps building, and every single guest represents some form of toxic privilege, fake artistry, or obsession with status. Ralph Fiennes is terrifying here without even raising his voice most of the time, and Anya Taylor-Joy works perfectly as the outsider character who slowly realizes how insane the entire situation really is. But the biggest reason adults connected with this movie is because it's secretly making fun of everybody. Food culture, rich influencers, pretentious critics, obsessive fandoms, even the audience themselves. It's one of those movies where you laugh, then immediately realize the movie is roasting you too, and somehow it still ends up being incredibly entertaining. Number 8, Ford vs. Ferrari 2019.
You ready?
I was born ready, Mr. Shelby. Hit it.
Even people who don't care about cars ended up loving this movie, because Ford vs. Ferrari isn't really about racing. It's about obsession. It's about passion. And it's about two guys trying to create something legendary while corporate executives keep getting in the way. Christian Bale and Matt Damon have unbelievable chemistry here. Their friendship feels natural, funny, and emotional without becoming overly dramatic. And the racing scenes, absolutely insane. The sound design alone makes you feel every engine vibration and gear shift like you're sitting inside the car. But what adults really appreciated is how mature the storytelling feels. This isn't some fast-paced TikTok movie constantly screaming for attention. It takes its time building characters, relationships, frustrations, and ambition. And because of that, the emotional payoff hits way harder later on. By the end, it becomes less about winning races and more about legacy. And honestly, That final emotional punch catches almost everyone off guard. Number 7. Gone Girl, 2014.
Grown-ups work for things. Grown-ups pay. Grown-ups suffer consequences.
Yeah, this movie being on Disney Plus still feels weird, because Gone Girl is dark. Directed by David Fincher, this psychological thriller follows a husband who becomes the prime suspect after his wife mysteriously disappears. Simple premise, absolutely horrifying execution. The movie slowly transforms from a missing person mystery into one of the most toxic relationship breakdowns ever put on screen. Rosamund Pike delivers one of the coldest performances of the decade here. Calm, intelligent, manipulative, terrifying. She completely dominates the movie. And Ben Affleck honestly gives one of the best performances of his career too. What adults love about Gone Girl is how uncomfortable and realistic parts of it feel. Not the murder stuff, obviously, but the manipulation, the media obsession, the fake personas couples create, the resentment hidden beneath perfect relationships. The movie constantly shifts your perspective until you don't even know who to trust anymore. And once that twist happens, yeah, you never look at the movie the same way again. Number 6. The Banshees of Inisherin, 2022.
For any more of this madness.
This movie somehow manages to be hilarious and emotionally devastating at the same time. Set on a tiny Irish island, the story starts with one of the weirdest premises ever. A man suddenly tells his best friend he doesn't want to talk to him anymore, that's it. But somehow that tiny conflict spirals into one of the saddest and most fascinating movies of recent years. Colin Farrell gives an incredible performance as this genuinely kind guy trying to understand why his friendship suddenly ended. Meanwhile, Brendan Gleeson plays the other side with this quiet sadness and frustration that slowly becomes terrifying. The movie sounds simple, but it's secretly about loneliness, mortality, purpose, depression, and human connection. And because it's written by Martin McDonagh, the dialogue is insanely sharp. 1 second you're laughing, the next second you feel emotionally destroyed. Adults especially connected with this movie because it captures something very real. The fear of realizing life is moving forward, while relationships slowly fall apart. And somehow it does all that while still being weirdly funny. Number 5. Kingdom of Heaven Director's Cut, 2005. Okay, first things first, not the theatrical version, the director's cut, because this is one of the biggest glow-ups in movie history. When Kingdom of Heaven originally released, people thought it was just an okay historical epic, but the director's cut completely changes the experience. Suddenly, the characters feel deeper, the pacing improves, the political conflicts make sense, entire emotional arcs become way stronger, and now, a lot of people consider it one of Ridley Scott's best movies. The film follows a blacksmith who becomes involved in the Crusades and finds himself defending Jerusalem during massive political and religious conflict. But what makes the movie resonate with adults is how mature and nuanced it feels. There are no cartoonishly evil villains here. Everybody believes they're doing the right thing, and the movie spends a lot of time exploring honor, faith, leadership, and morality during war. Plus, visually, this thing is massive. Huge battles, gorgeous cinematography, incredible costumes. It feels like the kind of epic Hollywood barely makes anymore. Number 4. Logan, 2017.
Come on.
Not okay.
This isn't just one of the best superhero movies ever made. It barely even feels like a superhero movie at all. Logan takes the Wolverine character and throws him into a brutal, depressing future where mutants are basically disappearing and everything feels hopeless. And instead of giant CGI battles every 10 minutes, the movie focuses on aging, regret, violence, and death. Hugh Jackman gives the performance of his life here. You can feel the exhaustion in every scene. This version of Wolverine isn't cool anymore. He's broken. Patrick Stewart is also incredible as Professor X, especially because the movie finally allows him to feel human and vulnerable. But the biggest reason adults love Logan is because it treats its audience like adults. The violence has consequences. The emotions feel earned. and the movie actually allows its characters to suffer. By the end, it feels less like a comic book movie and more like a modern western about old warriors reaching the end of the road. And honestly, that final scene still destroys people emotionally. Number 3, Alien, 1979.
How do we do it? Move! Get out of there!
One of the greatest sci-fi horror movies ever made, and somehow it still feels modern. The reason Alien works so well even decades later is because of how patient it is. The movie doesn't rush. It slowly builds atmosphere, tension, paranoia, and fear until the entire spaceship feels like a nightmare you can't escape. Sigourney Weaver as Ripley became one of the most iconic protagonists in film history for a reason. She feels intelligent, calm, and believable, not some overpowered action hero. And the xenomorph itself remains terrifying because the movie barely shows it. Your imagination does half the work. Adults especially appreciate how layered Alien actually is underneath the horror. Corporate greed, exploitation, survival, isolation, fear of the unknown. The movie has way more depth than people expect from Monster in Space, and visually, still unbelievable. The practical effects, ship design, and lighting continue to influence sci-fi movies even today. Number 2, Fight Club, 1999.
Club is, you do not talk about Fight Club. Second rule of Fight Club is, you do not talk about Fight Club.
This movie basically became a cultural phenomenon, and honestly, adults keep revisiting it because it changes depending on what stage of life you're in. When people watch Fight Club younger, they usually focus on the rebellion, chaos, and an anti-establishment energy. But watching it older, you start noticing the loneliness, the identity crisis, the emotional emptiness underneath everything. Edward Norton and Brad Pitt are phenomenal together here. The chemistry between them feels electric from the beginning, and the movie slowly drags you deeper into complete psychological chaos. Directed by David Fincher, the film constantly plays with reality, narration, and perception in ways that still feel innovative today. And of course, there's that twist, one of the most iconic twists in movie history. But what truly keeps adults obsessed with Fight Club is that the movie still sparks debate decades later. Is it satire, a warning, a fantasy, a critique of toxic masculinity, or all of them at once? Honestly, probably all of the above. Number 1, Dead Poets Society, 1989.
Medicine, law, business, engineering, these are noble pursuits. Poetry, romance, love, these are what we stay alive for.
And taking the number 1 spot is one of the most emotionally powerful films Disney Plus has available. Dead Poets Society doesn't rely on action, twists, or massive spectacle. It wins entirely through emotion and human connection. Robin Williams plays an English teacher at a strict boarding school who inspires his students to think independently, chase passion, and actually live meaningful lives. And man, this movie hits differently as an adult. When you're younger, it feels inspiring. When you're older, it feels heartbreaking. Because the film understands how easily dreams get crushed by fear, expectations, and society telling people who they're supposed to become. Robin Williams gives one of the greatest performances of his career here. Funny, warm, emotional, and quietly tragic all at once. And the classroom scenes honestly feel timeless because the message still resonates today. Adults love this movie because it reminds them of something people slowly lose over time. Curiosity, passion, creativity, individuality. It's one of those rare films that genuinely changes how some people look at life. And that final scene, yeah, if you know, you know. Oh, Captain, my Captain!
Captain, my captain.
Sit down, Mr. Anderson.
Absolute chills every single time. So yeah, Disney Plus is way more adult friendly than most people realize. Between psychological thrillers, emotional dramas, brutal sci-fi, historical epics, and existential character studies, there's honestly a ridiculous amount of quality hidden behind the platform's family-friendly image. And the best part is, a lot of people completely overlook these movies because they assume Disney Plus only means superheroes and cartoons. But anyway, which movie on this list is your favorite? And what's another Disney Plus movie adults secretly love that deserves more attention? Drop it in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more movie countdowns just like this. See you guys in the next one.